Everybody's here for augmented reality. Yes. Just to give ourselves a little plug before we get started, I'm Kristen. These are some of my websites. I'm actually working on a book. I started out as a math teacher. I taught high school math for 10 years, and the technology got to be too much, so I looked for a job where they paid me to learn, which is really cool. I thought I would spend a year or two doing that, but it's been 7. I work at Fordham University in New York City. I'm an instructional technologist, so basically I teach teachers how to use technology in and outside the classroom. We're also Blackboard system admins, and we do a lot with online learning. So just like everybody, we wear a lot of hats. If you're interested in my book, it's the book that I wish that I had when I first started, so it's everything I've learned about education technology in the last 15 years. It's kind of a lot. It's called the EdTech Bible, and you can sign up for, it should be out, the first part should be out sometime this summer. You can sign up on the website. And then I'm co-presenting with Lindsay Karp.
Yes, I'm Lindsay Karp. I'm also an instructional technologist at Fordham University. I have a background in videography. I've been in a few film festivals. I've done video projects for maybe over the last 15 years or so. I also have a website with some portfolio. I've done web design, visual art type graphics, and we do a lot of training for faculty at Fordham University, so we're always trying to integrate how to use technology in education and teaching.
I should probably mention, I know we didn't upload the slides yet to the MyCT part. We will. They're also up on my blog, Lindsay's blog, so if you want to grab that bit.ly link, in addition to the slides, there's also going to be some links. So pretty much everything we show you, you'll have access to. Okay, so I always like to start out with just a little bit of context. We're really still in the early days when it comes to this new information age. If you think about it, writing back 4000 BC changed everything. And then we had movable type coming out of China and then into Europe, Gutenberg Bible, mass printing, and then in the 90s, the internet. Most of us remember the time before the internet, right? Anybody here don't remember a time when there wasn't the internet? Yeah, most of us do, but it changes everything. There's all of these different new technologies. We're going to talk about augmented reality. There's Internet of Things, 3D printing, robotics, all of these things, all of these different trends form this interconnected, really technological ecosystem. So we're going to talk about AR, but it's something that can be interwoven with all of these other different things. So show you a short video, because I think this really shows best when we think about what is augmented reality.
Jarvis, you there?
We think of things like
heads-up display.
Check.
Forward all preferences from home interface.
Will do so.
All right, what do you say?
I have indeed been uploaded, sir.
Terminator,
We're online and ready.
Iron Man,
We start the virtual walk around.
displays.
Importing preferences and calibrating virtual environment.
Check on control surfaces.
As you wish.
Also another recent movie, Prometheus. I thought this was a really cool one. I like photos with the color. Very dramatic music. So augmented reality is this overlay on top of what we see in the real world. And typically we use devices like smartphones or tablets to interface that display. Not to be confused with virtual reality, it's very similar, but augmented reality is on top of, so you're interacting with both. And virtual reality, kind of in a box, this is something like Oculus, if you've seen that. So the fun part, we're going to split this up in two parts, talk about in the classroom and then on campus. How many of you are faculty? How many of you are like technologists or media specialists? Ooh. And how many of you are more interested in the in-classroom part? On-campus life. Okay, cool. We played that right. We have mostly in-class examples. So, one example of this is just using it as kind of like a model. That's kind of very, very basic use of this. Another is like a virtual classroom kind of tour. So something like the Civil War, being able to go out in the field and actually see like historical, the battles overlaid on top of the actual ground and the buildings. So that would be like history class. Word Lens, and I'm just gonna go to the web here. So Word Lens is a really exciting use of this. It's free on both platforms. You can use it on Android and iPhone, and it looks something like this. I think that's amazing. That would be really great for a language class. And they have all different language packs. Erasma is another really exciting app. This is also both platforms. We're going to actually show you a demonstration of this. But this allows you to set up something called a trigger and then an action, and it literally takes like 2 minutes to do. You spend more time planning it than actually doing it.
So what I have here is a wireless router. My American colleagues have told me I've got to call it a router so that everyone here understands. But nonetheless, here is the device. So now what I can do is, rather than getting the instructions for the device online, I can simply point at it, the device is recognized, and then
begin by plugging in the grey ADSL cable, then connect the power, finally the yellow Ethernet cable. Congratulations, you have now completed setup.
Awesome,
So
thank you.
That's pretty cool. On-the-spot training. We have somebody, we did a session on this earlier this year, and a little brainstorming session. Somebody from the telecom services was there, and so we were talking about, oh, that would be kind of cool. We have these big clunky phones with all these buttons, and nobody ever knows what the buttons do. You can set it up so that the phone moves over the button, and then a training video pops up telling you how to program the button and what the button does. We also had somebody from the library there, and it was like, oh, this would be great. You walk into the library, you hold your phone up, and all of on top of the stacks, you have the numbers and the subjects. So you don't have to physically walk through to find the right stack. You can literally see where it is and walk to it. You can also use this for a business card. So I'll show you this one, and then we'll do our little demo.
Hi, my name's John and I'm the Marketing Director for JuiceBurst. I'm delighted to introduce you to the
fancy.
new JuiceBurst range for 2013. It's a very exciting year with a new bottle, new design and new flavours. If you'd like to find out more, then click on the orange to my right. And if you'd like to see our new augmented reality, then turn this business card over and blip the back of the card and you'll see our fruit come to life. If you want to contact me for more information, my details are below. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
So it's literally just a couple of steps to set that up.
So Erasma has an app that's a mobile app. You can develop some triggers and animations within it. However, they're preset ones that you can pull from. But if you want to customize your trigger and your asset, which will appear, you can use this program, studio.erasma.com. It's linked to that application. And what I've done is I've done two things for this demonstration. We're Blackboard administrators, and we do a lot of training for faculty on how to make their courses available and everything. So we've made handouts before, and what we thought would be cool would be when they hover the Erasma app on top of this, a training video would appear. So I can demonstrate using this application, and I've taped a few at the back of the room, so if you wanted to see it larger screen, you can do that. So I have this, and I put it here, and I don't know if, oh, I have to hold it straight. A video shows up, and when I click on it, can you hold it? It goes full screen, and I can actually watch the steps and mechanisms of what this handout is demonstrating. So that was my one example. The other one was with a business card. Yes? No, so I activated a trigger, and then I also programmed it so when tapped, it goes full screen. So if I was on my iPad, it would go full screen there or whatever. Found that out because I was struggling also of making sure I was holding it appropriately, because every time I moved it off, it went away. You need to have the Erasma app, and it has this camera window that's like this, and you just hover it over whatever the trigger is. It would probably be better to include some significant symbol. I didn't have enough time to design one and add it so that they knew that they can do that with it. The other thing I did later on, if you wanted my business card, I've added a little sticker on the back of my business card with my information. This is now going to be a trigger. I don't know if any of you have downloaded the app. This should actually work for you. But right now, I have it linked to my About Me virtual business card. And what it does is when I hover over it, I don't know if let me see if I can do it over there. I have a video of this whole thing. Let me actually open that instead, just in case it was not going to work.
For this talk, came about, let's see, 2 years ago, I did a talk based off of the new media report that the Horizon report that the New Media Consortium and EDUCAUSE puts out every year on tech trends. So I did a two-part, we call it Learn It, where they come, it's like a lunch, and I covered 12 of the top trends in education. Can I have the? Yeah. So one of those was augmented reality. And then people were really into that one. Well, they were into like a lot of them, but we had like a follow-up talk then on just augmented reality. So some cases the training comes from, we talk with faculty, they tell us what they want, we show them possibilities, then we come up with, you know, like a happy medium of both. And then sometimes, you know, we just kind of show them different possibilities. So this is still something that's obviously not well established. It's still kind of people are figuring out the bugs and trying things out. But I think the possibilities, especially for learning, you know, if it's getting all the bugs, just like any technology out, could be really cool. Yeah.
There's the free version of Erasma permits you to upload MP4 files. It can do a couple other ones. The video size is restricted by the size of the video, so if you compress it, you can play a lot longer. You can also pay for a subscription with them, and then you're allowed to do a lot more things. So one of the really interesting advertisement campaigns is with Marvel Comics. And when you go to erasma.com, they show you the campaigns, and they demonstrate when you're going to a comic book store and you see the cover of the book, you can do the Erasma and you get a video like summary of what that comic's going to cover. So they've done that as a trigger for all of their comics. There's also other ones where it's like a Coca-Cola bottle, or someone actually did it to a dollar bill. So it's like now everyone has this interesting thing. There are some fun applications you can do. There's some 3D oriented widgets that they've created, like clowns clapping or something, so that when something triggers, it like crawls out of the object. So you can play with the free ones built on your mobile app, but if you want to do customization, you have to do it from Studio Erasma. I can demo how quick it was to do. So I have these two auras. I'm going to do a create new aura, and I can do upload trigger. And from my browse button here, I can choose anything to be a trigger. So I have on the desktop something from our yes. The only caveat, it has to be unique. You can't have the same aura trigger and have like a suite of different videos, because it's only linked to that. So if you're going to do it on handouts or instructionally, you need to have something slightly different. So I just did a screenshot of my About Me page as my trigger. What I can do here is, now I'm going to create an overlay, and I just click on this button, and maybe I want this movie to play when you see it. We'll see what happens. I can give it any extra information as I'd like. And I'll show you how to add the additional step where when you tap it, it goes full screen. That really enhances the purpose of the video. It's very difficult to hold your phone exactly straight on. Okay. I can resize it to have it go in any direction, or if I want it to size of the screen or smaller. And then over here, I can add an action, and it says when overlay is tapped, I can have it load an URL, but I'm going to say make overlay full screen. Save. I can do a preview now. So if I didn't like it, what I can do now is hold my phone over this image and see if my trigger works. It does, yay. So now I clicked on it and it goes full screen, so I can do this. So it came out at me. So if I'm satisfied with this, I can close this window, hit share. I have this as my aura, and now anyone who sees this page who does that will have that trigger affected. So there's a few things. You might also want to do more descriptive keywording, because someone can go to Erasma's site and just search for the triggers to test them out. So if you want to make them more specific, that's really what it is. That just took how many minutes? Like 1 or 2? So as long as you have your trigger predetermined and your media content designed, you can just link the two in this program right away.
Another question? So it's still something that people are just looking at and trying out. We don't have any faculty examples yet.
There's an elementary school that's using it. They have a couple of articles out already where they have poster boards in the hallway and clips, and the images that are in their poster are triggers to something. So maybe they want to sign up for a trip. When they hover over the image of the trip, they get a little preview video of what the trip is that they might be signing up for. They can do it also kind of like the Harry Potter. where you can take the New York Times, whatever the front cover is, you can make the trigger the first picture and maybe link it to the news reporting on that same article. And it's kind of like in Harry Potter where all the images and videos are playing within the newspaper. They can make those things triggers and do that. So there's a couple of different ways. I'm sure it'd be great for textbooks. But
yeah, in biology class where they have like a sleeve developed where they can fold it over and actually see like the bones in the arm with the labels. So we can add those links on here of what we've seen, but we don't actually have any faculty at our institution using it yet. But the telecom, the library, they're kind of working on that. As soon as we checked back with them, we were kind of hoping they had something for us like before we went. But when they do that, I'll update the page.
the business school has contacted us because they thought of the idea with that business cards as one of the things I was trying to demonstrate. When you get a business card, I'm sure it's going to work for you guys fine. And so the model is, business card is just a business card, but maybe they can put a video resume attached or link to their website as a trigger. So that way you have an association to the card and you actually go like, who's this person? And then you can actually see who that person is. And it's always going to be that type of trigger.
So with the last 10 minutes, we have a couple examples of how it can be used like on campus life. So this would be something that would be good for giving tours. You can hold the you can hold it over a building and you'll see what departments are in the building or the name of the building, a little bit about it.
Alright, hey dudes, I'm on old campus and gonna go show this to some people. Hey dude, want to see something sick? This is a new iPhone app that you can use to do college tours on your iPhone.
Oh, sweet.
So click that last guy there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's called UTour X, and it's currently loaded with tours of some Ivy League colleges. There's probably 75 to 100 tour spots for each tour.
So now what?
So just click on one of those spots.
Okay.
The pins.
Oh, that's right here.
Yeah, so that's Commons. You can read a little description there. Use your phone and point it at someplace. See that floating white dot there? You can click on that.
Oh man, what's this?
Yeah, see that little spot right there? Just hold it steady.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
So,
Oh man, that's amazing.
yeah, click that. And there you go.
Whoa.
So,
Wow.
so the
There's also an example of, this is more, I guess, falling under marketing and advertising. That's actually not in the building. So they've overlaid it with video. This one is really cool. This was actually a project that a grad student did. It's not quite functional yet, but this is, I think, really promising for an interface with textbooks. I'm going to click off the video. It's in Italian. Don't worry, you don't need to know Italian. So I think in this case he's going to use for his device, he's going to use glasses, kind of like Google glasses. I don't know if anybody here has tried them out. it's out in the real world, but it's overlaid on top of the buildings. That one's really exciting. That was not quite out yet. But they're working on it. They're working on it. We have one more that I think is super exciting. It's actually one of the vendors, I hope, that's here. We can ask them about it. I don't know if anybody has seen HoloLens yet. Yeah, a couple of people.
Technology is all
they
around
actually,
us.
I know at E3, the big gaming
We use it in every
conference,
aspect of our lives.
had a really cool demo with Minesweep.
It enables us to do amazing things. But what if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen?
Right now, it's kind of a dorky little
Where
helmet.
your digital world
but things
is
are,
blended with
getting
your real
faster,
world.
smaller every day. So
Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
that
New
one
ways to
actually is really
collaborate
cool.
And explore the places we've
Let me
never
just
been.
go back to that. I mean, as far as like on the spot kind of training, right? How-to steps, that takes YouTube like one step further. And then this next scene is
New
my
ways to
favorite.
collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
Talk about virtual reality. Yeah.
And new ways to create
Field
the
trips.
things we imagine.
This ties in with 3D printing. You imagine it and then you print it out.
Because when you change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see.
So right now, I think it's really more about possibilities and trying things out and thinking about how you can use this technology. There are some examples of people that have done it. On the blog site, you'll see a couple infographics there. These are the apps that we mentioned. And then this Flipboard here, anybody a Flipboard fan? Really easy to do. You flip articles and things that you see online. It makes it into like a magazine, and it's something that you can then share or flip into your own book. Super easy to use. It's like a little button on your browser or a share option on your phone. But when I see cool examples of different AR being used, I flip it into this. So if you have Flipboard, you can follow it. Or if you flip your own, you can share it with everybody else. So it's kind of cool. Anybody else have a question? I think we need to wrap up so the next group can get in.
Do you see the biggest issue with faculty using this being the actual creation of the content? Because it sounds like getting it to do it is easy, it's creating.
You can create customized content, but you can also remix and use something that already exists. So if you find a really great example of what you want it to tie to, you can trigger it to that. A lot of people are using YouTube videos as demonstrations in their class. Unfortunately, you can't link to them. You can link to the URL of it based off a trigger. But if you want the video to display in the phone, there's a website called keepvid.com that can download the video that's online. So you have an MP4 file, and then you can use that as a trigger to your aura. You want to? Yeah. All right. Yeah, as long as you take an image of what you want as the trigger, so if it is an old textbook or something in a museum or anything archived, as long as the picture is of decent quality and be recognized, you can use that as a trigger for something else.
Yeah, or if it's something online, you can just take a screenshot of it. Yeah, you can just take a screenshot of the website, and that would be your trigger.
In the front, we put these handouts. We didn't print that many. We're trying to be eco-friendly, so if you really insist on having a paper handout, we have a few in the front. This will have a list of the links that we were talking about, but we are also going to be linking to the MyCT website with all the links and resources, so you have them afterwards. And of course, please tweet us if you have questions later on. We'll be responding.
Yeah, I'll mention, somebody asked about that tech trends. I linked that on the page, and I'll tell you that wiki is something that I do update fairly regularly when I find stuff. There's also, last conference we went to, there were a group of people that were really into AR, so we started a hashtag. If you're on any tweeters out there, people, just a couple. It doesn't really seem like a Twitter crowd at this conference, but really into it. AR101 is the hashtag. So if you look for that tech trends link, you'll find more information about that. So if you want to grab a business card or handout, neat little. There's also another aura on this one. Thanks for coming.
Would you like a business card? Yeah.